Hey guys, what's up? Charlie here. It's almost midnight and I'm still making videos. As you can see, my face is pretty red, my hair is not done. I'm still jet lagged because last week I was in New York. But for today I want to really take the time to show you this video and to make a little introduction, because this is a really special video for me. Because in New York I kinda bumped into one of my favorite YouTubers, a YouTuber I follow since almost 6 years. So I decided that I need to make a video with him, and we did. Like, this video is 20 minutes long. It's like really special to me, because imagine that you could meet your favorite YouTuber or one of them, sit down with him and just talk about everything you want. So I actually did that and I recorded that for my channel. So the guy I'm talking about is Frank Yang, actually. If you don't know Frank, I will put his channel in the description below. A really cool guy. He makes fitness videos, but also combines his videos with topics like enlightenment, meditation, and also adds a really creative, artistic flavor on top of his videos. So really check him out if you don't know him yet. And also we need to know that in the beginning of the video we will be talking about the meditation retreat I did last year, called the Vipassana meditation retreat. Frank also did one. So in the beginning we will be talking about that, and what you need to know is in this retreat you meditate for 10 days in a row, 12 hours a day, and you're not allowed to look anybody in the eyes and to talk to anyone. So it's a pretty intense experience. If you want to do one retreat as well, go to dhamma.org. They live on donation basis, so you can pay any amount you want, and it's a really nice experience, as you will hear by Frank and me. So I hope you will enjoy the video as much as I do. Thank you so much for watching, and also if you have any questions, if you want to tell me something, let me know in the comments below. I always love to respond to every comment, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers. What's up? I'm here in New York City and have the big pleasure to record a little vid with my man Frank Yang. I follow this guy since almost 4 years. He's a really creative mind and he has a lot to talk about enlightenment, and actually also about the Vipassana retreat I did. So thanks man so much for being here on my channel.
No problem, man. I'm looking at you in the screen.
I really appreciate it.
I'm focusing on you.
So yeah, what's your opinion on the Vipassana retreat you did? Because you're really big into it, I know.
It's definitely something that everyone should try at least once in their lifetime. Because I remember, do you know Terence McKenna?
Yeah.
Terence McKenna said, if you never tried psychedelics, it's like you never had sex. It's like this dimension that you never opened before. So it's like if a person never did psychedelics in his whole life, it's almost like he's a virgin. And I see it the same way with a Vipassana retreat or any kind of meditation retreat. That if you've never done anything like this, it's like you never had sex.
That's so true, because for you that perhaps don't know what a Vipassana retreat is, basically a retreat where you go there for 10 days, you don't look anybody in the eyes and you just meditate for 12 hours and you don't speak to anybody else. And this is such a great experience. Like for me, it really expanded my mind so much, because you're actually never with yourself. You're never with yourself, with your own thoughts. You're always pulled and pushed by your biological drives or by something from the outside. So, but I also want to know, we also talked about enlightenment a little bit, because I'm also really into this stuff. What's your opinion on enlightenment? Can somebody become enlightened in his lifetime?
I believe enlightenment is a like a neurological kind of transcendence. So I think it's something. It's sort of like, you train your mind long enough and hard enough. There's no reason why you wouldn't make that jump. But I think the line between the unenlightened state and the enlightened state, it's not as black and white or as clear as how most people perceive it to be. Because we're talking about one of the teachers that we really like, Jed McKenna, and this is just my assumptions. It could be just me bullshitting, but in my opinion, he's a fully enlightened guy. But I also think you can read between the lines in his book. He's a big ego. So I think one can be enlightened and still have a big ego, but the place that he's coming from is different from just being trapped in the ego. So you can, I guess, people like him can switch back and forth between. For those of you who don't know, enlightenment pretty much, if you want to sum up to like one sentence, it just means that seeing through and embody in the truth of no self. Yeah, it's not about bliss or those are just part of the process. Like maybe byproducts, like bliss and like mystical experiences and peace of mind, like the kind of attributes like most people associate with enlightenment. It's not really like a direct causation or the direct, it's a correlation. Yeah. So Jed McKenna could be enlightened, and he could like turn on and off his ego, or maybe in this morning he feels like Godmind, like non-dual, no self, complete no self, and then maybe at night he goes to the bar and fucks some hoes. And maybe at that time he's like the ego, but maybe he also has that non-dual awareness around the ego. So maybe he has like a huge ego and an even bigger emptiness around it. You shouldn't say bigger because there's no size to infinity.
Yes.
So like, because like Xi Jinping, one of my favorite Vipassana teachers, somebody asked him, what is going on in your brain from like the day-to-day basis? And he said it ranges from just being completely delusional, like in his thought, like just a normal guy who's just like completely in his thought, to like non-dual, mystical. I don't want to use the word mystical because that's getting confused. He ranges from, his mindset ranges from just being completely delusional and just completely being embedded and lost in thought, and being completely detached from thoughts and just abiding in the non-dual awareness.
That's so sick. So basically you say if you're enlightened, you're not like happy and peaceful all the time, basically. It's not needed.
I think so.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like the analogy I like to use is maybe a person's relationship with his shoes, because like I used to be really into shoes.
Yeah. Totally.
I used to be really attached to shoes, like shoes, like Jordans, like Nikes, was part of my identity. Like it almost felt like if you step on my shoes, it felt like you're stepping like a piece of my like a skin or something. And if I don't get a pair of shoes I want, it's like I'm missing a piece of my organ or my identity. Yeah. But now, we're gonna go to the shoe store later and just look at shoes. Like, we're gonna see Fly Club. This shoe store in New York have like hundreds of pair of shoes of like the best collections of the best brands. And then if I go and I see something I like, maybe I buy it. If I see something I like, maybe I won't buy it.
Yes.
And if I buy it, if I put it on my feet and I walk around in it, somebody step on it, whatever, I don't give a fuck. Somebody steals it, whatever.
Yeah.
And I hope to get to the level where one day I could do that to like pussies. Maybe go to like an orgy party, or like a strip club, or like a whorehouse, and then just like look at the women and people fucking, like looking at shoes. Oh, cool. Maybe walk around and then fuck a little bit. Or if not, the whole night I just look around. I won't feel horny. Or if I want to feel horny, I'll feel horny.
Okay. Yes, it's pretty interesting, because before we talked about Jed McKenna, and he's one of the enlightened teachers, and a lot of people assume if you're an enlightened teacher, you are like so chill and in the zone every time. But what he does is actually so enlightened that he goes and has sex with prostitutes, you said, right?
Yeah, he lives in Cambodia. And apparently from this other blog post that I read about this one of his students that tracked him down, he lives in Cambodia and he uses the money that he makes from writing his books and the courses that he makes to fuck prostitutes.
Yeah, it also said like Eckhart Tolle, he is too attached to his enlightenment state, to his ego, so he would never do something like that, probably.
But by the way, I just want to go on record saying that you can go ahead and read the blog, but you should read the Jed McKenna books before you read the blog.
Yeah.
But I can't say for sure if that's real or not. But I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't be real. But if Jed McKenna really is like fully enlightened, he wouldn't give a fuck about somebody writing a whole blog, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe he does.
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't know. Yeah.
So how do we actually know that if you are enlightened, if this is the case? Is there a place where you know, oh, now I am?
Dude, it's I don't know, man. I'll tell you when I get there.
Or probably you won't, because we're so enlightened that you don't give a shit.
I don't know. It's just like I kind of like the state of like half enlightenment. Like you know, in the fitness community, they have this term called half natty. Whatever that means, right? So I think like there's some people, especially like a lot of Western minds that are like super intellectual, you know, like really deep into theories.
Like we said, Carl Jung, right, before?
Carl Jung is probably a good example of that. But they have like a little bit of meditation training and some non-dual experiences, but they're not like fully embodied in it. And even if they want to be fully embodied in it, they can't just like switch track like Jed McKenna. So somebody who's like half enlightened, I kind of like that. Yeah.
I wouldn't even say I'm also like at that stage. Sometimes I'm like so like in the flow and I'm thinking like, okay, this doesn't matter, that doesn't matter, you know.
Yeah.
But then again, like for example, right now shooting this vid, I'm like, I want to get this vid done, you know. I see Frank Yang in New York, I want to do it.
Yeah.
But then when I'm back home again, I'm like, okay, whatever. In a year from now, like I don't care that much, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's super interesting.
So maybe that's just our ego telling ourselves that, oh, half enlightenment.
Totally.
That's maybe it.
Totally.
So imagine if you have the most aesthetic physique in the whole world. So aesthetic, so powerful, the physique. Even if you take your shirt off, nobody can appreciate it because the aesthetics of your physique is so beyond ordinary people's perception and categorization and definition of what aesthetics means, that they can't even appreciate it or that they can't even perceive it. Maybe that's how enlightenment is, because you have this mind or this consciousness that's infinite, like Godmind level, but from the outside person's perspective, you're just another person. So I like to think about it like that. It's like, would you give up everything for that kind of mindset? And when you do get it, like Buddha said, you really gain nothing, because like only you can know. So I guess my answer to that question is nobody can really know if another person is enlightened except for himself. It's a totally subjective experience. I guess like there's some behaviors and actions and like manifestations that one can like sort of display from the external surface level, but those are just correlations, you know, just correlations and like, you know, beliefs from other people's opinions.
Okay. Yeah, pretty mind-blowing actually. Yeah. But I also want to know really quick, because I have you on my show, is also you are a big believer in like the mind-body connection.
Yeah.
Like the mind-body are kind of the same.
Yeah.
Could you elaborate a little bit on that?
So one of the insights I got from Vipassana is like after you scan your body up and down, and you peel in the layers of your physical form, layer by layer, to the point where your entire quote-unquote body dissolves, and then what you perceive to be solid, what you perceive to be the objective reality of the body disappears, because you realize that the body is nothing more than just sensations arising and passing through consciousness. Let's say if no one's ever told me I had a body, because the only reason why you know, quote unquote, know you have a body is because of memories and like the knowledge of body, like this is the hand. Semantics, this is the face, this is the arms, that's the bicep, right? Those are just information, you know, that's sort of distilled into your brain through conditioning. Let's say if I'm right now, like see if I can boom, just go to my non-dual awareness state, like my enlightened state. Let's just assume that, and then what do I really feel right now? Like right now, without the filters of semantics and language and memory, you just feel sensations. You know, you're just floating in space. You're not even sitting on a chair because the reason why you think you're sitting on a chair is also because of like the belief that you're sitting down on a chair, right? And one of the what I call consciousness hack, or like kind of like a technique that I use, is just really, if you really try to stay present or really abide in truth, this phenomena of you sitting on a chair is not you sitting down on a chair. It's just that the chair is not even pressing against your butt. It's just like there's some sensation here that's a little bit more pronounced than the top of my head.
Yes.
So you think like you're sitting down on a chair, but what if you can hack your consciousness into the experience of the chair pushing up against your butt instead of the butt pushing down on the chair? Because it's all relative, right?
Yeah.
Because it's all relative.
Yes.
Or when you walk on the street,
Yes.
can you like get into the mindset of, instead of just you walking on a surface, you moving, maybe the floor is moving beneath you, or both give a rise to each other. So that's, I think that's one of Einstein's insights too. It's like relativity is kind of like that. It's just like, you know, are you moving when you're walking down the street? Are you moving, or is the floor moving beneath you?
Yeah.
But that distinction isn't really there, because that's duality, right?
Yeah.
But in the non-dual awareness state,
Yeah.
it's just sensations. Oh, you know, you feel some sensations pressing against your feet, but are you really going anywhere? You know, where are you going to? You know, because like if the universe is infinite, like you really, everything you do is just in the same space, just different configurations and different arrangements of the sensations and different vibrations. That's like sort of arranging themselves. That's imprinted on the surface of consciousness.
That's so mind-blowing, dude. So do you believe that we actually live in a real reality, or like in a simulation, like Elon Musk says, or what's your opinion?
Okay, so let's say if we find out tomorrow that we live in a computer, I'll be like, mindfuck, but it's not like super mind-blowing, because from the way I look at it, we're already in a simulation. Because just the fact that our brain is like filtering all these informations, the brain itself, just the default position, the default perception of me looking at the camera, me thinking, you know, I'm sitting down in a chair again, that's already a simulation. There's different layers of it. There's simulations of the language, simulations of, you know, of your memories of you know.
Yeah, so true.
So like you are already in the simulation. So what's another simulation gonna do? You know, what makes you presume that this simulation is more real or more simulated than that simulation?
Okay.
Again, it's all just fucking sensations arising and passing. Right? I can, like, if you put on the virtual reality goggle. See, that's why I think virtual reality goggle is a really good way to like sort of break people out of the matrix for a little bit and make them realize that, first of all, you're not your body. You're not your body, because when you put on the goggle, you don't have a body, but you're still experiencing a reality within that simulated reality. And then a lot of the people who take off the goggle after they were so immersed in that reality that they forgot they're using a virtual reality goggle. When they take it off, they feel like this reality is the simulated reality. So which one is real? There's no distinction. They're both just sensations and perceptions.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Dude, I love it. You also mentioned yesterday that you can also use bodybuilding, like working out, to reach enlightenment, right?
I don't know. I was just talking to Connor Murphy about how like bodybuilding could be a gateway drug to like meditation, because what bodybuilding is it's a sort of an endeavor of sort of transcendence, right? You're always trying to be stronger. You're always trying to like build more muscles. Even though like if you get stuck on that level only, you might not go too far. But if you use that as a tool or as an like analogy to further to like keep going up, to go beyond just bodybuilding, the process is very similar. I think Shi Jinyang, the meditation teacher I mentioned before, when people ask him, you know, what is meditation like? What is doing a retreat like? The first analogy he gives is weightlifting. Yeah, the fact that you're grinding through grinding through yourself, grinding through your own mind. Even physically, you're grinding through your body.
Yeah.
When you're sitting down in the tree, you're breaking down the layers and layers of not just your the condition, the programs of your brain, but the program, the matrix of the body.
Yeah, great stuff. For me, the journey was the same. I started to work out, and then I got into meditation, and then I stopped to work out a little bit. But now, since I'm even more into meditation, I started to work out even more. But now it comes from another place, you know?
Yeah, it comes from like a more detached place. It's like, it's like, if I do it, I'm gonna go hard. I'm gonna be present when I lift. I'm gonna apply my muscle connection. I want to look good. But honestly, if tomorrow, I'm not attached to my body at all. I'm attached to the image of having a body. Like, I said this before, like even like 5 years ago, I said like the only reason I work out is so I can create aesthetic videos. I want my videos to look aesthetic. So my body's just a tool. It's like another paint, another paint in the infinite amount of different kinds of paints that I use to paint my consciousness. So what I'm doing in my video is just painting my consciousness. So I guess you could say that I'm attached to consciousness because everything is consciousness.
Yes.
And then the body is just a tool to manifestate that part of consciousness. So like, if I wake up tomorrow and I get really fat, I'll be sad. But then like, it's not the end of the world. I'll just go back right into it, start lifting again. It's not gonna make or break me as a person. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that I don't enjoy looking at aesthetics and then fucking girls.
Yeah, great stuff, man. I really wanted.
But me, sex is also just is completely mental. It's just a play of consciousness for me. Like when I have sex, it's just like a different
sensation.
Instead of saying like I'm fucking a girl, I like to think of it as I'm entering into I'm trying to reconfigure a different set of sensations in my consciousness. David Lynch also said that. He said in his movie, David Lynch, if you guys don't know, he's a surrealist filmmaker, and then he said he has a lot of sex scenes in his movie, but he doesn't film it like regular sex scenes. He does it in such an abstract, like aesthetic and surreal way. It's almost like he's really depicting the mind of sex rather than the physicality of sex. And he said that sex is such an interesting thing for me to just explore and film because it opens the door to another space. He didn't say, oh, it's just going to another body. He says, open the door to another space, another dimension, another kind of mind.
Yeah, I actually think the same because I'm like, having sex is just another dopamine shot you get. And filming this video basically is just another dopamine shot I get, if I get the video or not.
What's
dopamine. I pronounce it German.
Dopamine, yeah.
Yeah.
Dopamine.
So it's not even that important, just another sensation you can get.
Yeah, you can get dopamine from like cocaine or like just like doing seizure hops or meditating for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess cocaine.
There's different ways to get dopamine. Yeah, but the fundamental level is just dopamine.
Yeah.
So it's not the sex that's important. It's the kind of the style, the taste of different consciousness, different modes of consciousness.
Yeah, like different colors you see and you paint your life with that. That's beautiful. So I really wanted my followers check out your stuff. I know we can follow you under Frank Yang on YouTube, right?
Yeah, on YouTube, on Instagram.
Awesome. So yeah, Frank, man, thank you so much for being on my show.
All right,
I really appreciate it.
Shoe store.
Of course, maybe. By the way, will you ever come to Switzerland?
Oh, of course.
Nice.
I think maybe. We'll never know.
Yeah. Let me know, man. I will show you around.
Come to LA too.
I will come to LA next year, man, for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right, man.
Thank you.